When you start LibreOffice Writer, it looks something like this. This is the view that you will be getting from the LibreOffice Writer. So here you can see that the document says the name of the file is untitled2, which means it is not yet saved. So in order to save this file, I'm going to use the file menu and I'm going to use the save as option. And for this course, we will be assuming that you will be saving everything on your desktop. So here you can see that on my desktop, there are already some folders and shortcuts created already there. So I'm going to create a new folder using right clicking this white area in the right hand side and using the new option. And the first option in new is folder. So I'm going to create a new folder. So you should use your roll number to name this new folder. You will be naming the file with your own roll number. You will save it with the same extensions. So now as we have saved this file, I can see the name of the file that I've set on the top left corner. Now my file is properly saved, right? I will be having a file that looks something like this. It is called a practice question file, where there will be instructions and guidelines for you to work, more of a requirement for you to the first instruction you can see here, the create a folder by your name and roll number on the desktop and make sure. So I'm going to get rid of this name option. Create a folder by your roll number on the desktop. So you don't need to write your name if you have written your roll number. You just need your roll number. You don't need to be worried about the fact that I'm going to lose your folder if you're not writing the only your roll number and not your name. So the reason to that, launch the desired Office suite like LibreOffice. You can also use Apache OpenOffice or IBM Lotus Symphony. Make sure that your computer is working in appropriately for performing this assignment. Save your work regularly, otherwise any unfortunate scenario can cause loss of your data. Keep on saving your work after short intervals of time. All files you make during this assignment should be saved with your roll number as file name. So we have done that. You should set the following properties for your document. So let's jump right into it. So the first requirement for you is that you type in the text that you can see on screen. So please everyone, I will give you 5 minutes to do that. And type all of this text that you can see on the screen starting here up to this point, right? So you're going to type all the text in your LibreOffice like this. So by the way, one of the objectives of this course is to make you guys comfortable with typing using a keyboard, and I would strongly suggest that you practice that at your own end. सबसे पहले आप पूरे के पूरे टेक्स्ट को सिलेक्ट करेंगे, राइट? तो टेक्स्ट को सिलेक्ट करने के डिफरेंट मेथड्स हैं। एक मेथड ये है कि आप ऐसे माउस से क्लिक करें और ये पूरे के पूरे टेक्स्ट को ऐसे सिलेक्ट कर लें। दूसरी ऑप्शन मैंने बताई थी कि कंट्रोल और ए प्रेस करें, तो वो सारे का सारा टेक्स्ट सिलेक्ट हो जाता है। तीसरी ऑप्शन जो मैंने बताई थी वो ये थी कि आप जो चीज़ सिलेक्ट करना चाहते हैं उसके शुरू में अपने कर्सर को ब्लिंक करें। कर्सर कहते हैं ये जो एक लाइन से ब्लिंक कर रही होती है, इसको कर्सर कर्सर कहते हैं। आप अपने कर्सर को इधर शुरू में लेके जाएं और यहाँ पे इसको ब्लिंक करवा दें प्लूटो के वर्ड से भी पहले। और उसके बाद आप शिफ्ट की से डाउन एरो और राइट एरो कीज जो कीबोर्ड पे होती हैं उनको यूज करते हुए पूरे के पूरे पैराग्राफ को, या ये तो दो पैराग्राफ्स हैं, दोनों को आप सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं। खैर आई वुड रिकमेंड कि आप इसी से करें। ये जो साइज की सिलेक्शन है ना, ये तो बहुत बेसिक चीज है, इसको तो मेन्यू के थ्रू ना ही करें। सेट द font type of all the text to brush script std. You will follow the drop down menu for selection of font styles. These are all the fonts which are installed in my computer. There are two ways of doing that. I scroll up and go to B, the font names which are starting with B, and I select the font called Brush Script STD. So here I can see there is Brush Script Standard, and if I click this option, and the second way of doing this is that I start typing the name of this font like BRUSH So it shows me, you know, the font that I'm interested in. So I select brush script std. So standard, and all of this text is now written in a handwriting kind of fonts. Okay. So once you have done that, the third instruction says that make the text center aligned, which is a paragraph property. So again, this is something which I see many people doing wrong, because what some people do is, for example, if I say that I've written my name and I want to take it in the center of the page, clicking the space bar, and they visually try to align the text inside in the middle of the page, which is an absolutely wrong thing to do. Because if you go to the non-printing characters, this thing, you can see that how wrong it all looks, right? You should not be uh, using this option, because let me zoom in a bit on this. So here you can see, I can see so many spaces which were clicked by the user to bring his name into the middle of the page, and you can never perfectly align your name in the middle of the page. So in order to do that properly, first you get rid of all the spaces. Okay, so the right way of bringing this text in the middle of the page is to use this option. These are buttons on top of your toolbar, where you can, if you hover over them, you can see that if you want to align the text to the left of the page, if you want to align the text to in the middle of the page, which is called align center, there is a keyboard shortcut for that as well, which is Control plus E. Similarly, if you want to align the text towards the right side of the page, you can use Control R or Align Right option. And if you want to, stretch the text to the edges of the page, you can use Control plus J, which will make your text look like as it appears in the newspapers, in the newspaper columns, where all the text is stretched to the edges of the page. So I'm going to use Control E, and let's see what happens if I use Control E. You can see that my name has immediately gone in the perfect middle of the page, and this is measured in pixels, so it is going to be absolutely perfectly in the middle of the page, right? So similarly, let's do this for all the text. Select all the text and press Control plus E to bring all the text in the middle of the page. So this was the third instruction. I hope everyone has done this. uh, the fourth one is change the character spacing of the text to 1.0 points. Now, to some people, this text may be looking like it is compressed too much with each other, that it is giving us, not a very good look. So we want to, separate the characters from each other slightly more. थोड़ी थोड़ी ना स्पेस देना चाहते हैं हम कैरेक्टर्स के दरमियान. कैरेक्टर्स कहते हैं ए बी सी डी, इनको कैरेक्टर्स कहते हैं. इन कैरेक्टर्स के दरमियान में थोड़ी थोड़ी स्पेस एक्स्ट्रा ऐड की जा सकती है. देयर इज अ वे टू डू दैट. You go to the format menu, you go to the character option, right? Format menu, character option. Format menu, character option. So you go to the this character tab, and here you can see that under spacing, under the spacing option, you can see character spacing. So let me first change this to 10 points, just to show you the effect of that. So you can see the sample of the spacing down below, and you can see for 10 points the text is so wide apart that it is not even useful to us. But let's now change it to 1 point, 1.0. Now you see the text is, and you can change it back to 0 just to compare it. Let me change it to 0, and you can see that the text is so compressed together that it may not be looking very good. So if I do 1.0, it is now slightly separated from each other, all the characters, so that it is looking slightly better, at least to me. So I'm going to press OK, and here you can see that now my text looks like it is slightly more space between characters. So this is called character spacing, right? This example we have done just to show you that it is possible to manipulate the text very much in any way possible that you can think of. So this is just one of those examples of one of those features or settings. अच्छा जी, अब अगला काम हमने ये करना है, हाइपरलिंक ऐड करना है। आपने यहाँ पे टेक्स्ट, जिन लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा उनको पता चला होगा कि प्लूटो जो था वो एक प्लेनेट था, और प्लेनेट के बाद उन्होंने कहा कि अब ये कोई प्लेनेट नहीं है, हम इसको प्लेनेट की कैटेगरी से नीचे ले जा रहे हैं। ये काम 1990s में हुआ जब डिस्कशन शुरू हुई। You select the words International Astronomical Union, right? How do you do that? I leave it to you. You can use the mouse to do that like this, or you can take your cursor blinking at the start of this, and you can use the right arrow keys to select all the text up to IAU bracket closed, and then you go to the insert option. There is another symbol very famous for hyperlinks, which is the globe. So and a link in front of, and a chain link in front of that. You will also find this button on your toolbar over here. So here I can see there is a chain link and there is a globe, the world globe behind this chain. So this is a common and most famous hyperlink. तो ये globe जब आएगा तो अब आपने क्या करना है कि आपने you will be in typing in, so you will not be changing any option because you have to insert the hyperlink of type internet and web. So you're going to type here, www.iau.org, which is the official website of this organization, International Astronomical Union. And when you type this URL, we call it URL. The address of the website is also called a URL. So we have typed the URL. Here it says URL, and then you simply click OK. Or as soon as you press OK, you will see a blue line under all of these words, International Astronomical Union, IAU. And when you take your mouse on top of these words, which is called hovering, if you hover your mouse pointer on top of these words, it says that you can control click to go to this website. ओके, सो अगर मैं इस इन ब्लू लाइन के ऊपर अगर कंट्रोल के साथ क्लिक करूंगा ना, मेरे पास वेबसाइट खुल गई है, आईएयू की वेबसाइट खुल गई है, ठीक है। स्ट्राइक थ्रू द कंप्लीट लाइन, प्लूटो इज वन ऑफ द 9, सो यू मस्ट हैव नोटिस्ड दैट द फर्स्ट line is no longer true. So what you need to do is, sometimes we do this, that we show that something was true before but now it is not true. So we keep the text there and we insert a strike through line. So you go to the format menu, you go to the text option and you select strike through. So when you do that, you can see that I can see the old text, but it is kind of like crossed, that it is no longer valid, that Pluto is no longer the 9th planet of our solar system, right? So
सर ये रिपीट कीजिएगा।
you select the first line, Pluto is one of the 9 planets of our solar system. Then you can also use this option, strike through option, and it will, when you click that, all the text will be crossed. After that, you are going to select this word called email. So the last line of this text says, for more information, please send me an email. So select the word email, again go to insert hyperlink, right? Select the word email and again go to the option insert hyperlink, select hyperlink, and then select the option mail. And when you select the option mail, in front of recipient, you type your own email address. For example, 231234 at the rate of formanite dot fccollege.edu.pk, and in front of subject line, the instructions say that you change the subject line to more info about Pluto. So type in the subject line and type in the recipient. So you would be the recipient for the person who is reading this document. So whenever they will control click the email word, they will see their email client open, and there you will become the recipient who has prepared this document, and automatically the subject line will be, for the user, will be changed to more info about Pluto. So they will not have to type this subject line again that they are interested in getting more information about Pluto, right? You are actually the IAU person, so you have written your email over here, and you have written, you have provided the subject line to the user in order to facilitate them so they don't have to type it over and over again, more info about Pluto, and you press OK. And as soon as you do that, you can see that the word email is now turned blue. It is underlined. And if you hover over it, it says that click to open, control click to open this. And this hyperlink will allow you to send a mail to your roll number at formanite.fccollege.edu.pk, right? And it also shows that you will also be provided with a subject line which is more info about Pluto. So I'm not going to test this right now, but I hope that all of you have inserted this hyperlink. These were all text properties, and you can see in this example that we have seen like 4 or 5 different text properties that we can allow on our text. These are really useful things. Okay, so now we go to the page properties thing. Let's change the page properties. Go to the format menu and page option, go to the page style, format menu and page style. Again, I will tell you, I am going to change the page properties. I am going to format menu, page style. Inside the page, oh, yeah, inside the page style, I can see the page tab, right? Go to the page tab, and the instructions say that you change the page size to 14 inches by 8.4 inches. So 14 inches over here and 8.4 inches in the height and whatever it is, and change the orientation to landscape. And as I told you in the last class, no matter which orientation it is selected, the page should look like landscape, right? So you have to make sure that your option is selected landscape and the page also looks like this. So you have to make sure about both of these things. The second option, it says that change the page orientation to landscape. Then third is set page margins to 0.51, 0.51. So top is 0.5, bottom is 1, and right is 0.5, and left is also 1. So you change the values of margins as you can see on the screen into the values 1, 0.5, 0.51. So this will allow us, and actually on the screen you can also see that the margins look something like this. So then you press the OK button. But the next instruction it says is that set the page columns to 2. So we want the text, this text, to appear in 2 columns, or at least as much as accommodated in one of the, two of the columns. So let's go to the, let's first select all the text and then go to, we go to the format columns, which will take you to this dialog box, and you can select, you can change the columns to 2 columns and press OK. So now you see that your text is now spanned to 2 columns only. What would have happened if I had inserted the 2 columns without selecting the text? Now you can see that all of the page is divided into 2 columns, and until the first column is filled, we cannot go to the second column. So now these are 2 columns. So either of the options is good to me. You can select the text and you can insert columns. I think that would be actually a bit better to do that, to insert the 2 columns after selecting the text, so that we are able to use the 2 columns to span our given text. Now the next thing is that set the page header to your first name and make the header right aligned. So you go to, there are 2 ways to do that again. Either you double click the header area and it will allow you to type things on top of, okay, so I think I should do the other option. So go to insert and go to the header option. So let's find the header option. It should be somewhere here. Yeah. So header and footer. So you insert the header with the default style at first, right? So insert menu, go to header and footer, and then go to header and then default style. And it takes you to a text box on top of the page where you are able to type your name. So let's suppose I am typing the name. This is some name that I have typed, and then I, you know, use Control R, and Control R will take my text towards the right boundary of the page, right margin of the page, right? So this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to the insert menu and then the header and footer option. Inside header and footer, you're going to use header default. And as soon as you click the default style, you are taken to this part. Here you type your name on top of the page and then you press Control R, and then Control R will take your name towards the right boundary or right margin of the page. The next option is set the page footer to your roll number and the make the footer center aligned. So again, go to insert menu and header and footer, and go to footer and default style. Just like you inserted the header, you are going to insert the footer. So as soon as you click the default style option, you are taken to the bottom of the page, and here you can type your roll number. Like for example, this is your roll number. You have to make it center aligned, so you press Control plus E, and your footer will be brought towards the exact center of the page, exact middle of the page. And then if you click back to the main text, this header and footer will be fixed there. They cannot be changed from the main text of the page, right? This is all the header and footer text is different from the main page text, so these are different things, right?